Hi there, Sandy here. Welcome to another Friday Findings video at keepsakecrafts.net. I don't know if you've noticed all of the shape templates that have been floating around the internet lately. There are a lot of them, and there are some really wonderful and interesting shapes beyond the usual cutters that we can find. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own stencils and template shapes. So up on the screen is a section from one of my Evernote inspiration boards showing shapes and uses of those shapes in polymer clay. I really love the idea of using shapes beyond just the ordinary cookie cutters that you can find out there or polymer clay cutters, using templates and such. And there are a lot of those templates and stencils available, but when I price them out, they're anywhere from $15 to $20 each. And as much as I would like one of each, that's not in the budget. So I thought I would see if I could find a way to make my own. But I wondered if there was a way that I could make a sampling of just the ones I like the best. So here's an example of just some clay sheets, different textures and such that I put together. And the way that you would use these templates, and here I have a template sheet that I cut out, is you could lay it over your design to visually figure out, like that's kind of cool, or maybe just a little bit of that, to really play with your design and figure out how you want it to go. And it really helps to just make these visual decisions visually, as I've said many times. So having templates like these can be a really great design tool. But like I said, they're kind of pricey, and as much as I would love to own every single one, that's not going to happen. So what I have here is some stencil plastic. This is from Plaid. I'll have a link to this on my blog post. This is called Plaid Simply Stencils, and it's a pretty good thickness for what it is that I'm doing. And then what you'll need in addition are some templates. Now these are free ones by Anna Belke, and I'll put a link to where you can download these. You can also draw your own. You can go online and find inspiration for other shapes. You can design them in a computer program like Photoshop or such. But I'll show you how you can use these to cut out your own stencils like the ones I just showed. And what you'll need to do that is a heat tool. This is the Martha Stewart heat tool, the Martha Stewart Crafts Multi-Purpose Heat Tool. And it's a pretty good tool. It has 4 tips that come with it. You get one that's a little mini iron, which you can use for doing transfers on clay. These 2 are both pointed tips. This is what we're going to use for cutting our stencils. And then this one is a flat tip, and you can use this for melting in hot fix crystals. And they actually have some pretty good directions here, just showing you, just explaining some of the details of how to get the best results. As with many of these tools, they come with this terribly flimsy stand. So remember, this is really hot. This gets as hot as a household iron. So you need to be very careful about it. And just never leave it alone. Don't work with it around children or pets. Just always pay attention to where it's at and what it's near. You don't want to start a fire in your home. Now this tip you can see has gotten a lot of use, and it's kind of blackened. And one thing you'll need to help keep your stenciling nice and clean is just a damp rag. This is just wet, and you'll use that to wipe off your tip in between cuts. I'll do a review of using the other tips at another time. But I do like this tool. It comes with a nice plastic case to keep all your tips and your directions and the stand and everything all together, which makes my organized heart happy. Now the first thing I'd recommend you do is see if you can find some packaging plastic to practice on. You can see some of these are pretty bad. This actually is a piece of plastic from bacon. Just look in your packaging and find something kind of sturdy that you can melt with a heat tool and make some stencils and just get in some practice. And then you'll also need whatever templates you're going to use. You'll need a piece of glass. This is just a piece of thin glass. I've taped the edges with washi tape. Your stencil plastic, of course. And then some painter's tape to hold everything down. When you tape, try to make sure you get some tape on the stencil, the glass, and the paper. So both pieces, you try to get a little bit on each, and that will just keep everything from moving around on you. And then when you start, it's best if you can start in a corner. And it's really just a matter of practice, figuring out the speed and the pressure that you need to apply. You really don't need to apply a lot of pressure, but you need to apply some. And you don't want to go too slow or you'll wobble. And you don't want to go too fast or it won't melt through. Now I haven't used this tip before, but the reason I decided to try it was I noticed when I was cutting the other stencils, the more vertical the tip was, the cleaner my cuts were. If you have it kind of angled over to the side, you tend to have a lot of melted gunk on the edges. One tip I can give you for getting nice, smooth lines is to think about when you're driving a car. When you're driving a car, you don't look where you are, you look where you're going. So if you can just train yourself to focus your eyes a little bit ahead, and when you're getting to a corner, focus right on that corner. Just look there, and it will go right there. It's just an eye-hand coordination kind of thing. And that's not bad. There's some little rough edges. Now you can save this piece too if you want. You can see it's kind of rough. I mean, if you really need perfect, smooth, straight edges, you're going to either have to practice a lot or maybe just go ahead and purchase the templates. And here's a tip that I found as I was doing this. Is go ahead and take a moment once you've traced one of the templates and just put a little check mark in there, and then you know you've done that one, because I found myself checking back and forth. Oh no, did I do this one? Oh, I don't know, and I had to keep comparing, and it was kind of annoying. So once you have one done, you can just go ahead and position the next one. And what I like to do is just position it where I want it on my template plastic, hold it there, and then slide my glass right in between them. Don't forget to tape it down securely every time, because the plastic will slide on the glass if you don't, and you'll be sad. If you see that there's plastic building up on the tip, what you want to do is wait until you've finished one shape and then wipe it off on your damp towel. And the reason you want to wait till you finish a shape is because wiping it on the damp towel is going to cool it off, and you want to let it have a chance to sit for a moment while you get the next shape in line so that it can heat back up again. It actually does make a difference. This really is just for making these as a guide for cutting your shapes to help you design where you want your piece of placement to be. If you need absolutely perfect, smooth templates, again, I would suggest maybe saving your pennies to pick up the ones that you really want. And so there you go. That's how you can make your own templates out of stencil plastic with a heat tool. It's a good tool to have for lots of different things, and I think you'll find lots of good uses for the templates. If you're interested in the supplies I use, you can click on the little eye for information that's in the upper right, or there's a link in the description box that will also bring you to my blog post where I'll have links to all these supplies for you. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and take a peek at my Patreon page for how you can get great rewards and help support these tutorials. Happy creating. Bye-bye.